matches the beginning of the line. It's like from that starts at the beginning. So from at the beginning does match, and from in the middle does not match by putting that little caret there. Same thing, line is what we're searching, and then from is what we're, caret from, line at the, from at the beginning is what we're looking for. And so again, it does the exact same thing. It only prints lines that have from colon as the first character in the line. So the difference is we look for a method, and the other one is we program the regular expression. So we're going to run out of methods in the string class long before we run out of things that we can do with regular expressions. And so a couple other special characters, that caret matches the beginning of the line, so caret matches the beginning of the line. This capital X matches itself. Dot is a wildcard that matches any character, and then some of the characters in regular expressions modify the immediately preceding character. And so that says, look for a line that starts with X and then has many characters, that's with these two things, 0 or more characters followed by a colon. And so you can see that it's this sort of like expanding stamp. It's like, oh, there's an X at the beginning of the line, that line, it looks good. I got some characters here and then I got a colon, that's good. So this is an X, some characters, and a colon, check. X, some characters, and a colon, check. X, and these things, you know, away we go. And so you can, that's what's going to match. And so you can see how some of these characters are special. Again, go back to your cheat sheet. Some of them are special and some of them are actual characters. And this colon and X are just, they're not special, they're just the characters. Okay? Now, sometimes you want to be a little more clear on your match. So let's take a look at these lines that match that particular thing that we just did. So we have these two, x-civ colon, x-d stam dash result, like these are from mail messages. And then one of the mail messages has a line in it that says x-plane is behind schedule. And this matches. Is that what you really wanted? And so what we can basically say is, because this is an x, this is some number of characters, and that's a colon, it matches. It has to match. That's this rule applied to this line results in a yes. It does. And so how can you be a little more clear as to what you want to match and what you don't want to match? So we can write code. So now what we're going to say is we want to match the beginning of the line, and we want to capital X, and we want a dash. So now we're going to match those first two characters, X dash, at the beginning of the line. Caret X dash says first two characters of the line must be X dash. Now we have another special character. Again, refer to your cheat sheet. Backslash capital S means a non-white space character, right? Any character other than white space. And then plus means one or more times, one or more non-white space characters. That's what this whole thing says. One or more non-white space characters, and followed by a colon, which is just a character. So now we have X dash followed by one or more non-white space characters followed by a colon. X dash followed by one or more non-white space characters followed by a colon. Here we have X dash followed by one or more, whoops, there's a space there. And so this doesn't match. Even though there's a colon there, it means that between the dash and the colon, you can only have some number of non-white space characters. So this is a no, it does not match. And so you just can, if you didn't want to match this, you then sort of create a more precise, you know, we could even have a thing that said, I want X dash with an uppercase character, uppercase letter, if you wanted to. And so there's all kind of fine-tuning if you sort of learn the structure that you've got to do. And so that's kind of the matching, where you're taking a whole line and taking this template and deciding if the template anywhere in that line matches. And now what we're going to do is use this to actually pull data out of strings using the regular expression library. So now we're going to move from merely matching to matching and extracting. So we're going to say, hey, I would like to not only have you take this template, this little pattern, the string pattern, regular expression pattern, run it across the line. I want you to give me all the ones that match, and I want a list of those. And that's what we're going to use the find all. So search gives a true false. Find all gives a list of all the strings that match. So if there's 4 of them, you'll get 4 things in the list. If there's nothing that matches, you'll get an empty list. So let's take a look at what we got going here. So instead of calling search, we call find all. We still pass in the string that we're looking through, and then we have our little template pattern. And this is a new bit of regular expression. Any little bracket operation, square bracket, is one character. That's just a character, but then there in between here is a set of allowed characters. So 0-9 means a single digit, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. But that's really one character. And then we have, so that's one character. And then when the plus applies to that, which means if we look at this whole thing says one or more digits. That's the code we write in a regular expression that says one or more digits. And we're just going to use that in our regular expression by itself. So we're going to look for any string that's one or more digits and pull it out and give it back to me. So it's going to look. So that's my little template. Stamp, 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 stamp. Oh, got it. Stamp, 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 stamp. Oh, got it. Stamp, 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 stamp. Got it. So what we get back after we ask find all to find all of the one or more digit strings is 2, 9, and 42. So it actually parsed it, it split it, it found all these things and said, I found them all for you, and here they are, 2, 19, and 42. So it's a list of 3 strings because that's how many it found. Now it might have found none, and we would have got an empty list at that point, but it found some. Okay, so just as an example, you know, we did this thing, we get 2, 19, and 42, but if I said this, that basically is an uppercase vowel, A, E, I, O, or U, so that's one letter, and that's one or more. So it's saying, you know, something like A would match, E, I would match, O would match. But if you look now, it's saying, okay, I'm looking for one or more, minimum one or more uppercase. A, E, I, O, U is a set of characters, one or more uppercase letters. And so it says, like, look, do you find, oh, there's an uppercase, but it's an M. No, 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 no uppercase, no uppercase, no uppercase, no uppercase. Found nothing, did not find anything. And so it gives us back an empty list. And so it's like, find all the things that match this. And the answer is none matched. Here's your list of nothing. Okay, and so you have to check. That's how you have to check even if you got something, because it's not going to return you false. It returns you a list with no items in it. Now, the way it works, like I said, it sort of is taking this template and stamping it across the line, stamping across the characters. Now, there's a behavior that might not be intuitive you at the very beginning, but the notion of what we call greedy matching, and that is when it can match more than one possible string, overlapping string, it chooses the largest overlap of the overlapping strings. And so the easiest way is to show this with an example. And we're saying, I want something that starts with an F with one or more characters and ends with a colon. So that's my little stamp, that's my template. So starts with an F, good, that's good. One or more characters, da 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 da, have a colon. So that could be from colon. That would match. But look, I've got another colon here, and this is just continuing on with one or more characters and this. So the question is, do we get this or do we get this part, right? And the answer is, with greedy matching, is we get the larger of the two. Okay? And so what you get back is somewhat counterintuitive. You get the whole thing as the match, from colon using the. We could have got from colon, but the reason it picks this is this one's longer. So anytime it has a choice, it picks the longer one. And that's what greedy is, meaning it'd probably be better described as larger or tending toward the longest string or something like that. So you can, of course, suppress this behavior. Like everything in programming regular expressions, you simply add another character. And so now it's going to say, I would like to start with letter F, any character, one or more times, and then this question mark, this is still one little thing, non-greedy. Okay? And so that just says do it not greedy, which just means that it prefers the shorter of the strings. And so now it could still match this string or this string, but because it's been told to not be greedy, it chooses this string instead, and that's the string that we get. And so that's the not greedy, and you just add the question mark after the asterisk. So it's usually an asterisk question mark or a plus question mark, though that's a two thing. That's 0 more characters non-greedy, and that's 1 or more characters non-greedy. Actually, most of the time, it seems to me that the non-greedy would be the more reasonable default, but that's not how it is. Greedy is the default and non-greedy is optional. Now, we can play some more with this stuff, okay? And so let's take a look at this little example where we have a non-blank characters, \S, one or more of those non-blank characters, followed by an @ sign, and then again one or more non-blank characters. So this is looking for strings that have an @ sign with non-blank characters on both sides. This is an example of where it sort of comes to this